Welcome to part 2 of the Paradigms series. We're discussing how we got programmed from upbringing and society through the different stages of life, with a multitude of beliefs and limitations that hold you back from your infinite potential. This is definitive for you to have a better comprehension of why we respond and react automatically to different situations in life, why we have the problems we have, why it seems that it's so difficult to get along with ourselves in order to build strong and stable relationships with the people around us. This is crucial because if we don't stop judging ourselves, we will also continue to judge others and then fall into victimhood that leads us to think that others are to blame for what happens to us, and even that life events are against us. I invite you to watch this complete series in order, because these videos have a sequence. I'm linking the playlist on the eye that you're seeing right now on the upper right corner of the screen. You will also find links below in the description box. I suggest listening to these audios multiple times. The things that I am sharing with you here are not common knowledge. They are not taught in schools. I ask you to open your mind and be willing to listen to a different perspective, because this is not linear nor logical for the rational mind. As you continue to listen to them, you will pick up more things that some people refer to as small revelations, so to speak. One thing is what we grasp intellectually, and quite another is to become conscious of all this until we recognize ourselves as the beings with infinite potential that we are. If you already took my workshop, Subconscious Mind Mastery, I suggest you listen to these audios as a reminder of what we saw in the training to continue with this way of life. In the previous video, I mentioned that we live controlled by paradigms that work in us like programs in a computer. These paradigms or programs are structures and layouts made up of a multitude of concepts and habits that are deeply embedded in us in an unconscious way. And that is precisely the reason why we don't realize we are operating under all those precepts. As you saw in the title of the video, this time we will talk about the paradigms in childhood. You might remember that in the previous video, I mentioned that we didn't make these paradigms or programs with which we currently operate, since they are things that were already, let's say, installed in society, in our family, and in our ancestral history before we were born. So when we arrived in this world, our parents or guardians began to raise us and teach us many things for us to acquire social skills, rules of behavior. We learned and followed family, cultural, and religious traditions, among many other things, so that later we could integrate into society as functional, responsible, and independent adults, according to the time and place where we live. All this is conforming those paradigms or programs in us. Although this is a very different experience for each person, due to all the variables mentioned, we can realize that there are many paradigms. Some are individual and others are in the human collective. For example, most people have been conditioned to lack, fear, illness, and to distrust themselves. Saying it with those words may sound terrible, but the truth is that in most cases, our parents didn't intend to implant that in us, even if that's how things resulted. If you have children or have raised children, you will surely remember that some things were repeated many times during upbringing. If they asked you for things, maybe you told them many times that you didn't have any money, that it's too expensive, and that you can't afford luxuries or spend money on stupid things. If you saw them super excited about doing something that seemed foolish, perhaps you told them to stop that it was dumb, and that they were not going to achieve their purpose. If they misbehaved, you could have told them that if they continued like that, the man with the sack, or the boogeyman, or the police officer was going to come for them and take them away. Or that you were going to lock them up, that you were going to leave them behind if they kept taking too long to complete a task, or that you were going to send them to a boarding school. If they played with insects in an impulse to protect them, or if that seemed disgusting to you, you could have told them to not touch those bugs for any reason because they were very poisonous and could harm them, or simply not to be dirty or gross. Perhaps you have memories like these from your own childhood. There are parents who resort to more extreme measures, and it's often because their parents were even harsher or stricter with them. These are patterns that have been repeated throughout the centuries, as I mentioned in the previous video, as if it were the baton in a relay race. These are things that are passed from generation to generation, partly because of what we live, but mainly because of the accumulated memories of a multitude of unresolved life experiences, most of which are coming from our ancestors. When I say memories, I'm not talking about things we remember, but of energetic memories that unresolved matters leave behind and get lodged in us, in different dimensions of our being. That's why we keep repeating the same patterns. We have to neutralize and erase those energetic memories in order to get out of the vicious cycle and stop dealing with the same situation over and over again. I know this because this is what I do in private consultations and in the live group sessions. I instantly delete unresolved issues and their memories. If you want to learn more about this, check the description box below for a link to the testimonials playlist. These things happening during childhood can get very easily ingrained, not only because of constant repetition and what children are seeing from adults and the environment around them, but also because the brain of young children is on a different wave frequency than adults, and this enables information to set more quickly, easily, and deeply. This is how all these paradigms or programs are installed in us. It doesn't matter if the concepts are good or bad, or as many say, positive and negative thoughts, right or wrong, appropriate or inappropriate. What children are most exposed to through their senses, by repetition and intensity, that will be what permeates them subconsciously and non-consciously, determining many of the beliefs and limitations they will have to deal with in their adult lives. This itself acts as a trigger, activating all those ancestral memories that add up over time when we don't erase them. It's like developing additional layers of paradigms that keep getting more and more numerous as we go through more life experiences. If you have already seen my videos, you know that all these things can be erased, and in fact, I've been doing it for many years through quantum physics with people consulting me from all over the world. If this is your first time hearing this, I invite you to watch my live group sessions on Facebook on Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will also be posting those videos here on the channel, but for now, you can watch them on Facebook. Because it is quantum, you will receive immediate benefits even if you watch the recordings. All live streams remain saved on the page you are seeing right now on the screen. I also put the link in the description box below. If you are liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content to improve your quality of life, tap the bell in the option All to receive a notification every time I post a new video. Drop your comments and questions below. Your feedback is important because I can delve deeper into a topic, answer your questions, or offer you suggestions that you can implement in different situations. If you want to book a private consultation with me to address your issues personally and erase weaknesses instantly, you can send me a message to the email you're seeing right now on the screen. Please tell me which country you are writing from to give you the corresponding information. Improvements occur within the first session. There are no sterile consultations. Back to the topic. These paradigms or programs from childhood are not only obtained from the family, but also from the environment and other authority figures. For example, at school, where children learn that they have to earn grades to be considered good. And if they fail, they fall into the category of irregular, not very good, mediocre, or even a nickname that in some cases can also set as a paradigm or program. Many of the cases that I've seen in private consultations have weaknesses and unresolved issues related to school, even if they are already adults and are no longer studying. The logical mind often says, "It doesn't affect me anymore. That happened too long ago. I don't even remember that." But I reiterate that this is about the energetic memories of unresolved issues lodged in you, what I explained in the previous video. It doesn't matter if you're not in that situation right now, because time by itself does not solve these things. The paradigms acquired in childhood that you have not eradicated are still there. They became a program in you, but they manifest differently when you become an adult. For example, some people grow up and deal with insecurity, fear, jealousy, envy, rage, frustration, anxiety, sadness, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like a victim of others or life circumstances, having panic attacks, financial problems, conflicts with their partner, with their children, at work, and so on. Sometimes these unresolved issues morph into physical symptoms, pain, and even illnesses of different kinds. It's necessary to take action to shift those paradigms or programs, and erasing unresolved issues is a way of taking action. It's what I do in the private consultations and in the live group sessions that I stream on Sundays, what I already mentioned before. Reprogramming our subconscious mind is another way to take action. Anyone can learn to reprogram themselves, and this gives you many benefits because you can practically direct your life at will and achieve your goals more easily, no matter what it is. You'll learn to take charge of yourself, to use the internal resources that you already have, but that you don't know how to take advantage of. You can cancel out things from the past that were painful or traumatizing, and you can also project your future at will. But above all, you can discard those old paradigms that keep you spinning in circles. You can learn to self-regulate emotionally. So far, these two options combined are my favorite. They are the ones with which I have achieved faster and more effective results in myself and in others. What we don't erase or neutralize in some way remains stored in us energetically, even if decades, centuries, lifetimes, and generations go by. It's what I said before about passing the baton like in a relay race. There are too many variables, and everyone experiences things in a different way because everyone makes their own interpretations based on what I have already mentioned. So even all the students in one same classroom are having a different experience. The same way, all the siblings within one same family are also having different life experiences, despite having had the same upbringing, the same parents. Therefore, each one forms different paradigms and programs. The way you experience things determines and shapes those structures and layouts. That is exactly what we learn to modify in the Subconscious Mind Mastery Workshop. If those things took place before, without us being aware of them, now we are taking conscious, deliberate actions with a specific purpose to operate with the programs that we want. Each person selects what they want. That's right, you can select with total freedom among all the possibilities that exist what you want to materialize in your life. This is a workshop that I teach several times a year. I'm going to link the video presentation to it in the description box below. The next group starts in a month from now on September 9th. If you are interested and want to join, please send me a message, including your country, to the email you are seeing now on the screen to give you the corresponding information. And even if you're watching this video much later, still send me an email to notify you of the next one. If you have already subscribed to my channel and activated the bell and all, you will receive a notification when I publish the third part on paradigms in teenagers and the following stages. Remember to drop your questions and comments below. You can share this video on your social media or with people you know are being affected by these things, so they know that they don't have to continue suffering. Everything can be improved, and the sooner we change our relationship with ourselves internally, the better results we will have with everything else we do. Thank you very much for your attention. Until next time.